This is Courage Barbell with your host, Chad Ikes. Me. Today, this is going to be part 2 of the Wisdom of Dave Tate. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Although, let me start, if you guys don't happen to know who I am or what I've accomplished, I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you go to Courage Barbell channel, which you are watching this on, and go to the second video I did a video about myself and what I've accomplished. For those of you that don't know, I can't remember if I covered it in the first part 1 of this series or not. Either way, I did pretty good, and hopefully you guys can look into that and see. And by the way, please like this channel, subscribe to this channel, share this channel, and all that other stuff to help me make this grow so I can continue to put more videos out and help you guys out, and just symbiotic relationship going on here. So the second piece of wisdom that I learned from Dave Tate, I'm going to fix my mic here while I'm talking because it just dropped. Shortly after the first seminar that I went to, I kind of started putting together a team. And I'm training, I'm working really hard on all of the things that I learned at the seminar, continuing to read, research, learn. I'm having a good time with the people that I am bringing in and showing them, teaching them what I've learned, which is, again, expanding my knowledge. But we get to the point where we start running into these walls. And we go about three weeks. Everybody does awesome for 3 weeks, and everybody goes to shit. Back everybody off, start up again. Same thing. Back everybody off, start up again. Went through this numerous times. And of course, the way my brain works, I'm continuing to think this whole time. I'm thinking about it. But again, I'm kind of like, I don't know. No one where I was training was doing anything conjugate. Everybody was linear periodization, and they were not going to change. It was hard enough finding a few people to start a team with that were willing to try something new. And so the card I talked about in the first series that Dave Tate sent to me after the seminar, I actually pinned this up right next to the door of my bedroom so that I would see this every time I walked out of my room and have that little reminder of a 2,100 pound total, which, by the way, ended up being 2,733 by the time I was done competing at that level. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to bug Dave. He's already helped me out. This is how he's making a living. I feel like I'm being an ass and taking advantage of him. But I go, you know what? He did offer, so I'm going to call him up. And I called him up, and he remembered me, and we started talking. And he's like, "What's up?" And I go, "Well, I'm having this problem with my training, and I'd like to get your advice on it." And so I go about telling him it, and Dave has this it's actually amazing. It's interesting to me at the same time. And this is probably another tidbit I've taken from Dave, not in terms of training, but in terms of coaching. Dave has this way of he's not this egotistical guy who goes, "Here's what you should do." He kind of has this way of walking you around where you need to go and kind of gently guiding you there, which is funny because I wouldn't say Dave's a very gentle person in anything. So we're talking, and Dave's like, "Well, I mean, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Well, what do you think you should be doing? What would be your thoughts to solve this problem?" And I go, "Well, I definitely have a few," and I go into explaining the different ones. And here's Dave like pushing me this way and then pushing me this way. Well, why of the ideas you have, I mean, which one do you think is the best? And he's pushing, gently guiding me through this pathway. And, I'm telling him, well, this is it. And this is why I like this one over this one. And, this seems like the way to go. And then that's when we start seeing the Dave that we perceive. And he basically over the phone smacks me upside the head and goes, "Okay, well, why aren't you doing that?" And I go, yeah, okay, I think I get it. And I kind of remember chuckling on the phone when he said that, because it was like, Okay, I feel bad for wasting your time on the phone now, but okay. And it was that was actually I didn't even think of the coaching aspect of it till I just said that on camera. So you're actually getting to see my mind working and learning even on video here, because I try to do that. I do actually still try to do that with the people I train. I sometimes I'll just go, here, just do this. You're annoying me. But a lot of times I try to get them to think, because I want them to understand so that they can remember it. If I tell someone to do something, they're only going to remember it so long. If I get them to come around to understanding it and realizing it, almost coming up with it themselves, then they're going to remember it. The key lesson for this, though, when Dave's like, okay, well, why aren't you doing that then? It was kind of one of those little epiphanies where it's like, wow, sometimes I can be really stupid. Yeah, why aren't I doing that? The other thing's obviously not working. I've tried it multiple times. Why am I continuing to do the same thing? And that happens a lot in strength training. I don't remember one of the philosophical guys, the stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So my lesson from that, my big Dave Tate lesson from that was, like, you need to trust yourself, not that you should just, oh, this isn't working, I'm going to jump to this. I mean, you need to go through the process. Is it actually working? Have you tried it a few times to see if you're getting the same result? And if you are getting that same result, are you continuing to search for knowledge, to seek out knowledge, to figure out why it's not working? And then when you go through that process and you come up with some new ideas and some new concepts, why aren't you trying it? And I'm not saying, me reaching out to Dave was a good thing. I think that's a good thing, to reach out to the people that you have in your corner, mentors, if you will, to kind of bounce ideas off of. But at some point, you've got to have the balls and the guts. You got to have the courage to go, wait a minute, I am an intelligent person, and my idea is good, so I'm going to try it. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work, but I thought about this, and it makes sense, and the logic I've put behind it is real. So now let's try it and see what happens. You have to have that courage. You have to have that faith in yourself. So that was lesson 2 with Dave, and please, it's funny because as I write these down, I'm like, dude, this is all common sense shit. Like, this is all pretty simple. But sometimes it's the simplest stuff that we forget about and we don't see. Again, when I talked about the training in the first video, I see lots of people that want to complicate it. And if it's complicated and there's lots of numbers and there's lots of percentages, they're like, oh, this must be good. Look at this training program. Where it's like, no, complicated doesn't define good. Like, complicated is just complicated. And most of the time, you're overcomplicating what could be simplified. And so my 4 things here are actually pretty simple and pretty common sense when you step back and look at it. But it's something that we forget. And then again, this is why these are ideas that I have reoccurring in my head to keep me remembering, hey, Chad, keep it simple, man. Hey, Chad, if it's not working, test it a few times. Then get to thinking about it, get to researching it, figure out what's new, and then don't be afraid to try it. You already know that what you're doing is not working now because you've tested it. You have to move on to something new. But let that search for something new be educated. Don't go, oh, I saw so-and-so on the internet do this. Are they a good lifter? Why are they doing that specific thing? Will it help you? So use your own brain. Trust yourself. Have the courage to understand when something's not working. Have the courage to change. Have the courage to research, study, and find a new idea that makes sense, and then have the courage to execute that idea. All right, guys. Number 2 down. Shortly be coming out with number 3 tip. And that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. Like this channel. Subscribe to this channel. Share this channel. Help me out in growing this channel so I can keep putting out more information for you guys. Keep making everybody stronger. Keep making the world a better place through strength. All right, guys, I'm out of here.